Just leaving Brixham. It was anchorage for 4 days, 3 days. There's Torquay background. All these lovely cliffs.
Hi.
Just about to go around corner avoiding crab pots. Bye bye Brixham. On to Plymouth.
So you know all those beautiful YouTubers out there and those sailing channels, and the women are just like shockingly beautiful. That's probably why they make it very well. And the husbands are like, oh, you know, handsome. Well, this is reality. I'm sorry, but I'm not one of them. I did sort of thought I maybe should brush my hair since it's been up in this bun since yesterday, but I can't be bothered. And you know what? I'm going to have a shower in a minute. So you guys just have to accept me as I am. Old, ugly, got a few kids, got fat rolls and
Excuse me.
wrinkles, and they're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You can look at their beauty. You can ignore my ugliness. It's all right. All I want to do, I wanted to just have a little chat with you because I'm making this episode, and what I realised was the last episode. I did mention I hadn't done much filming over Lyme Bay, and I just don't think I explained why, because reading our sailing log, which we just started when we first started sailing, I was quite shocked to read it, and I sort of forgot how bad it was. So we hit some really heavy weather. We did know as we left that morning, we did find out the weather was a lot more than predicted. I think it was something like 27 to 30 knots. Oh, that's what we thought we'd hit. And another boat that was setting off same time decided not to go, and I was determined to go, so I went regardless. So, you know, we paid the price because I was going, you know. So, and then at that time, Chris didn't really do any helming at all, really, on little bits, but he's useless, and I didn't like him on the helm because he just crashed into waves all in the wrong direction. It was just horrible and uncomfortable, so I did all the helming. So it was like 10 odd hours helming in heavy weather. Once you got out past Portland Bill into the middle of Lyme Bay, because we was advised, I don't know if we should write taking that advice, but we was advised to go out using the wind and the tide to go out and then come back in on the tide, so the tide brings you back in. So we tacked all the way out, quite a long way out, so it was a long way, 20 miles off shore, in very heavy wind and big seas, couple of metre waves. It was just very uncomfortable. Even now, even after the whole storm in the bit of Baby Biscay, even now, after all the sailing we've done, that is a really memorable sail because it was so crappy. Torrential rain, heavy seas. The kids were like seriously seasick, and they was both in the cockpit because they couldn't go inside because it's worse inside. Soaking wet with all their wet gear on, puking up in buckets. I was trying to helm and hold a bucket. Bear was covered in sick. She was so ill she couldn't even hold her own bucket, and Chris was useless, running back and forward like headless chicken, and it was a really hard sail. So when we arrived, I was exhausted, really exhausted, and I just wanted you to know that. And what I wanted you to know was this: in my book, which I'd forgotten about, was all of our windows that was done professionally leaked, like a lot. So we got a lot of green water in and a lot of rainwater. So the sea was coming in and the rain was coming in. The windows are letting loads of rain in, were running down and filling our holes on both sides. And the cracks on the front of the belly of the boat had opened up. There's cracks there, which we've been assured by several people it's not structural, it is cosmetic thing. But the water penetrates in heavy seas through those cracks and works its way through into the holes.
Into my bedroom.
And Bears.
And Bears.
On the floor, really. Floor, mostly.
Yeah.
So it's not that much a big deal. But, so when we did arrive, there was a lot of water ingress to clean up. The fridge, there's like a lock on the fridge. That had broke because it was bouncing about so much. The fridge door come open. The whole contents of the fridge had emptied
All the jam jars
onto
smashed.
Bear's side. And jams, the gherkins, the pickles, all the glass type things had smashed, and they was all over the floor and everywhere. The coffee, tea and sugar pot had jumped off, the kettle had jumped off, the coffees and tea bags and sugar and everything was everywhere. The oven had bounced open, broke the mechanism on that bounced open. All the contents of the oven and the trays and everything in the whistle kettle had come off. They was all on the floor.
And that was on one side.
In my bedroom, in the cabin, the wardrobe had collapsed. Everything on the sideboard had bounced off. I had like a jewellery thing that's been there for ages that never moved. That had bounced off and broke.
Big, beautiful crystal.
I had a big amethyst geode, is it called? That had bounced off and smashed in two. there's grass, sort of crystal fragments everywhere. The shelps had collapsed on the other side, and on the cabin, the double cabin, the other side, everything had bounced off and gone onto the floor there. There was a big mess. There was a huge mess. So I'm just looking at the standing log now. Oh yeah, look at the standing log. You see, you forget this stuff, don't you? We had obviously had the inspection hatch up to look at the top of the select leg because it had been refitted, and we was checking it all before we left. We wanted to make sure the level hadn't dropped that morning before we left, which we did. So you accessed it from the top of top of the select leg on an inspection hatch. Well, we'd sealed the inspection hatch back down, but it hadn't sealed down well, and that leaked, and all the water must have been rocketing up through that, and the inspection hatch is like above my bed in my bedroom, and it all come out and flooded my entire bed, and so all my mattress all the way up is totally wet, brand new memory foam mattress, which we then had to somehow squeeze up into a silly shape and drag up on deck and dry. Thankfully it was sunny in Brixham the day we arrived, so the mess you can imagine was absolutely ridiculous. I've just got to stop now because that Muppet hasn't had his hair cut for I don't know how long, and he looked like he had a flipping woman's bob going on. It was shocking. I couldn't live with it anymore. And he shaved his beard off last night and looked awful, so I made him go and have a haircut. And he looks really lovely. He looks proper handsome. Here, look at this, everybody. That's what he looks like without a beard and with an haircut. Look at that. Turn around, let's have a look at the back.
Go away.
Oh,
You alright, yeah?
yeah, he looks really nice. He doesn't look like a Muppet anymore, unlike me, who I do look like a Muppet, but I will sort the old hair out in a minute. I'll have my shower and, look like one of those models or not.
Your eyes look really green and blue today.
They're just blue. They're just blue. Anyway, so I want you to know about Lyme Bay. Now you know. So there we go. It's not all singing and dancing, you know.
No.
A lot of it's
I hated
heavy
Lyme Bay.
and wanting to cry because they can't stop being sick.
Oh.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Back on with today's sail, which should have been to Plymouth. We left Brixham, Fishcombe Bay this morning, and we were sailing to Plymouth, but it's such lovely weather and an easy sail, we decided to keep going and go to Fowey River, or Fowey River, I'm not sure how you say it. So we jibed right out, and then we're driving back in, but we're motor sailing because we want to get there before dark if possible, and we've got a couple of hours left to go, but it's lovely conditions, really nice. The kids are happy. We've done dinner and we're sitting chilling. I'm just drinking a coffee. Yeah, it's all really lovely. And I'll show you the sun now. The sun's going down. It's very beautiful. I don't think you can see that. It's really nice. I'll take some pictures of the sunset. This is our little map. We left Fishcombe Cove at Brixham, sailed past Plymouth right out, and we landed at Fowey River. It turned out to be a really beautiful little location. We reached there just before dark and picked up a little mooring. Had a great couple of days, rest and relaxation. We left in extremely heavy rain and quite big seas. It was a really uncomfortable sail for the first probably hour or two, and then as you can see I had a bit of rest, come off the helm, and things started to slowly calm down. I've actually just been reminded that they all wanted me to turn around and go back, and I refused blindly, and we sailed on. And actually everybody was pretty pleased in the end, because when we reached Fowey River it was nice, calm, sun had come out, and we had a nice peaceful evening. Our little map from Fowey River to Fowey River. We found a nice little sheltered anchorage for the evening in Fowey River. and watch the sun go down. After a good night's sleep, we set sail for St Micheals Mount off the coast of Cornwall.
Just motoring up to Lizard Point, just not got wind until we go around corner. Just leaving Helford River. Partly sunny day, a bit cloudy. Hopefully the weather will be alright.
Actually, our sailing instructor Simon and great friend give us lots of advice about going around Lizard Point, and it was great to be able to see, check that we were doing the right thing. We reached St Micheals Mount safely, and it was absolutely beautiful. We got invited in, and we stayed in the tiny little harbour there overnight. St Micheals Mount is a small island with lots of history. About 2,000 years ago, it was the centre of our tin industry. In this beautiful little harbour on this tiny little island, we were lucky enough to see the Queen and the Duke's footprints they left when they visited. We was also parked very closely to the island barges. They're hundreds of years old and insured for millions, I was told. So that was a bit nerve-wracking. But they have carried Queen Victoria, and the other barge carried King Edward VII. So there's lots of royal connotations. Interestingly, the estate and the family built these with their own elm trees. Simon gave us more advice and said if we was going to sail to the Scillies, we need to just get a move on and go. We had the perfect sailing conditions the next day, so that's what we did. One night's rest, fixed a few problems. I bumped the wall there, parking her. That's not good, but we learn from these things. And the next morning we set off with Simon's advice. Thank you, Simon. Check him out on Instagram, Change of Tack. It looks like perfect sailing conditions. Join us next week on this epic sail.
Land's End in the distance. Scilly Isles in the distance.
If you like the video, give us a thumbs up, press that like button, subscribe, catch us on YouTube and Facebook. And if you want to support what we're doing, follow the link to Patreon and join our crew. See you next week, guys.